Okay, so um, no, I will cut anything, Arta, that we don't want here.
All right.
So I thought I would take a few minutes today to introduce you, the students in the class, to Arta Johnson, who is a shareholder and director with LaRue Investments, also my mother. And we didn't actually coordinate to both be wearing red today, but just happened. So over the course of the semester, I've invited Arta to join us in the class, so you'll be able to see her showing up from time to time. And I wanted to just take a few minutes to give you an introduction to her in the ways that you have introduced each other to each other, so that you'll have some sense of her as a participant and a resource in the class today. So Arta, maybe could you just take a few minutes to tell the students a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Um, I think for this purpose, you might want to know that I'm one of 8 shareholders in LaRue. Originally, 8 of us had 10 shares each, me and my brothers and sisters. I think another thing you might want to know is all of us love living on the land. We've all vacationed here many times. We've brought our children here. We've brought our grandchildren here. Uh, when asked once by one of my brothers, how much could someone pay to buy you out? I thought about whatever that sum would be. I knew that I would just have to take it and go buy some other equivalent spots. So the answer for me was no, I don't want to be bought out. I love the forest, the hills, the water. I love the camaraderie. I find a lot of joy um, in my brothers and sisters who are not my age, but who are, uh, I'll say, we're all in the same cohort of 2 decades. So today, my youngest brother came into the house, and when I went out to his truck, he said, "Look, I've got $1,200 worth of equipment to put on this truck." I couldn't figure out what that would be, especially when he took me around to the hitch on the truck, but he was just putting on his insurance so that his license would be good. For some reason, that made me laugh. A guy with a truck and his insurance paid, how could he be happier than that? Do you have any other questions, Rebecca?
Well, for the students at the beginning of the year, I asked them to answer 3 questions. The
All right.
questions that I asked them, I could pose to you as well. Um, Hold on half a second. Um, I'm going to just shut down my Microsoft Outlook so that on my side it doesn't pop in and save messages that everyone will be able to see for time forever. Okay. Okay.
And
So
I'm going to work hard at remembering 3
I'm going to tell
questions.
you the questions first, and then I'll start the recording and ask you the questions again, or
Okay.
restart.
Oh,
So
yeah.
um, I asked the students 3 questions to introduce themselves. So those 3 questions were, tell us about a kind of a place that makes you happy. So either the place you are or a place you would like to be, and to share an image. So share an image of your happy place. The second question was, what are a few of your favorite things from the worlds of popular culture or the economy? So
Mm,
film, songs, music, food.
just 1 second. So, favorite place and favorite things.
Yeah, a couple of favorite things.
Okay.
And if we were to hold a party in my backyard, a potluck, what food would you bring and what karaoke song would you choose?
Oh my gosh. Food to the potluck. And and uh, and what song? That's going to be hard. Just let me think of what song would I choose? My gosh, that's a stumper for me.
Well, I don't know, because would it be would it be Carmina Burana? Would it be something from Hamilton? Would it be from a musical? Would it be a hymn? Would it
Oh
be
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
protest march?
What's the one from the musical? Yeah, da 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 da
Da,
da da da.
da, 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 da. You'll be back. Ba-da-ba, ba,
You'll
ba-da.
be back.
You'll be back.
Okay, okay. That's very colonial of me, but or maybe it's anti-colonial. I don't know. What's the name of the
From
what's the
Hamilton.
name of the potluck dish to take to a vegetarian potluck? The one that your men hate, the apricot couscous.
My Mediterranean baked orzo, or do you mean like the spinach?
Yeah,
I said the spinach lentil dal. Well,
no,
that's
it's the
already coming to the
Mediterranean
party.
baked orzo. Ah, okay.
So I have a visitor to introduce today. Over the course of the semester, we're going to be joined on many occasions by Arta Johnson, who happens to be my mother and is here on Zoom with us today. And so I thought I'd begin by posing for her the same three questions that I posed to you folks at the beginning as part of the introduction. So the three questions were: tell us a little bit about a spot that, or show us an image of a spot that's important to you. What are a few of your favorite things? And at a barbecue, backyard, potluck party at my house, what food would you bring and what karaoke song would you sing? So we'll start off by asking Arta to share some answers with us to those three questions.
Thank you. My favorite spot is here at the Shuswap on Secwepemc territory. On that spot, my favorite place is being in my cabin, so I've invited you in. Behind me, you can probably see the grape leaves trailing down over my window. I love being here. So, three of my favorite things now. Well, I like to read The New Yorker. It was a gift to me this year from Rebecca's partner. It's the first time he's given me such a gift, and I think of him every week when it comes and I get to read it. Another thing I love is writing. I love the feeling of paper in front of me and a pen, or of being able to madly type, and so I like to type and blog. The food I bring to a potluck is Mediterranean baked orzo. I'm bringing that because some of you will be vegetarians, and at a potluck, we need lots of vegetarian food. Um, the song that I'm going to choose is You'll Be Back from Hamilton. I'm choosing it because this summer, all of the grandchildren watched it at least 4 times, and even the 5-year-old can start her shoulders going like this. And yep. So that's the song you'll all have to be singing. Sorry, it's a bit colonial, but there's some satire there. So thanks for inviting me, and I'm really looking forward to the class.
So as you'll see, as the term goes on, we are going to have two kind of case studies that we're going to play with. One is the new breaking news on MEC, Mountain Equipment Company, that is in a moment of great transition. So MEC is going to come in and out of the term, but so is LaRue Investments Incorporated. And so Arta is one of the early shareholders in that company, is still a shareholder, and is one of the current directors. So she has a long history with this corporation. I mean, Arta, how would you describe your history?
I wish I had mentioned it as one of my favorite things. It was a thrill to me when my father kind of believed in me enough that I could carry the company on when he knew he was dying. And it's had its ups and downs. And along the way, it's just been a delicious opportunity to learn to love the place I am and the people that I'm with. So join me in celebrating LaRue this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. And sometimes you're going to see me at my worst and maybe sometimes at my best. So
So
here
we're
we
going to
go.
have the chance to actually see Arta's name on a ton of documents. We're going to be looking at minutes. We're going to be looking at um, at AGMs. We're going to be looking at committee work. We're going to be looking at documents. We're going to be seeing a bunch of things. And so one of the things I'd like you to have in your mind is that we in law classes often work with texts, but often we don't get as much exposure to people. And so Arta's experience with this corporation, which has gone through many iterations and many years, has been since really, you've been familiar with it since your dad really first got shares in it in the 60s. So you guys are going to have the chance to be able to ask her questions along the way, questions that will also touch on shifting knowledges and understandings that we all have about our relationships to corporate entities as they change over time. So I wanted you to be able to have a sense of her face and her person, and she will be present. So as we go through, think to yourself about the kinds of questions you might ask or curiosities you might have about the various things Arta might say about the documents that we encounter, as well as about the backstories behind them. So Arta Johnson, Arta, these are the Law 315 students this year. So hopefully we will have some pleasant and shared hours with each other.
Oh, wouldn't it be great if we could have a barbecue in your backyard? Wouldn't that be great if the pandemic was gone and we could gather together again? This would be so fun.
So not to sort of rub it in, but just so you guys know, in past years, Arta has come and joined in person for the class and sometimes has brought with her bread or cinnamon buns to the class. So I want you to metaphorically imagine that food showing up, and we'll see if the pandemic at some point opens up enough for, in fact, a backyard barbecue, either in my house or maybe back in the corner behind Arta, behind a window out on the land. So
Yeah.
now we proceed apace.